laboratories in each secondary school where students carry out scientific experiments. Have you noticed that in every laboratory there is a set of rules on laboratory safety like this one? Two groups of students are conducting an experiment to test the presence of starch in leaves.
First, light the Bunsen burner. Then, put the leaf into the hot water and let it boil for 2 minutes. Turn off the gas tap before we go to the next step. Time's up. Turn off the gas tap. Time's up. Put alcohol and some anti-bumping stones into a test tube and place it into a hot water bath. Then, put the leaf into the hot alcohol.
Forget the stones. Just place the tube of alcohol into the hot water and then put the leaf into the alcohol.
Are you sure? Time's up. Check the color of the alcohol.
The alcohol has turned green and the leaf is bleached.
Look closely. Has the leaf really lost color?
Take a look yourself.
The leaf has lost its green color. Then, place the leaf on a piece of towel and add a few drops of iodine solution on the leaf surface. What color is the leaf now?
The leaf has turned dark blue.
Can you find any mistakes in the above clip? Let's see the mistakes made by the students. First of all, this student did not check the gas supply before lighting the Bunsen burner. Before lighting the Bunsen burner, he should make sure that the gas tap has been turned off. He should check if the air hole of the burner is closed before he lights the burner. Moreover, he should turn off the gas tap when he has finished the experiment. In the case of a laboratory accident, a student is told to heat water in a beaker. He lights the Bunsen burner before he fills the beaker with water. As the burner is glowing with a blue flame, the student does not notice the flame while he is transferring the beaker of water. He is so careless that he is burnt by the flame.
Put alcohol and some anti-bumping stones into a test tube and place it into a hot water bath.
Forget the stones.
This student does not perform the experiment according to instructions, therefore he is at risk.
And then put the leaf into the alcohol.
Are you
Cases
sure?
of serious accidents occurred when students did not follow instructions during the experiment. A student was burnt by the Bunsen flame in another situation. The student puts a leaf into a beaker of boiling water. He does not turn off the Bunsen burner according to instructions. He places the leaf into a test tube of hot alcohol and then places the whole set into a water bath. When he removes the leaf from the alcohol, some alcohol is spilled onto his hand. Remember to to turn off the gas tap before putting a test tube of alcohol into the water bath. Moreover, small pieces of anti-bumping stones should be placed into the test tube. To prevent the alcohol from getting too hot and from spillage. Do you know what to do if somebody is burnt in the laboratory? You should wash the burn with cold running water and report the accident to the teacher immediately. In the above clip, all the students have committed the same mistake. Can you guess what the mistake is? They have forgotten to wear this kind of goggles. The goggles are designed to protect your eyes during the experiment. You should wear the goggles whenever you perform tests on chemical reactions and heating substances. In this case, all the students forgot to put on goggles. One student even looks closely into the test tube with naked eyes. This could be very dangerous. Particles or spillage may come out of the test tube and the naked eyes will be injured. For example, when a diluted acid is poured into a test tube containing magnesium chips, and when a liquid is heated vigorously in a test tube, spillage may be ejected out of the test tube. Cases of eye injury have been reported when students fail to wear goggles during the experiment. Therefore, when you are about to perform your experiments, remember to protect your eyes by wearing a pair of goggles. Let's see what are the common accidents in the laboratory. The student is cut by glass or other sharp instruments. The student is burnt by a Bunsen flame or hot liquids. The student is burnt by corrosive chemicals. The student is hurt by an electric shock. The student is hurt by a small explosion when mixing incompatible chemicals. The student feels sick after breathing in toxic gases. The student is poisoned by contact with some poisonous chemicals. The student is bitten by white mice kept in cages. To prevent such accidents from happening, you must make sure that the following safety precautions have been taken. Check carefully against cracks and leaks in the apparatus. Learn the right way to use the apparatus and the correct laboratory skills, such as how to heat liquid inside a boiling tube. Besides wearing goggles to protect the eyes, this safety screen can be used to provide protection for the whole body, and it should be used when an experiment is performed in front of the class. Hazard warning labels should be found on containers of chemical substances. They are used to state clearly what type of dangerous substances are stored inside. Let's take a look at the different hazard warning labels and their meanings. Poisonous. Can cause cancers. Will explode by itself. Will explode in a mixture. Can easily catch fire. Can cause harm or irritation. Can give out harmful radiation. If you can identify the hazard warning labels, the risk of accidents caused by the use of wrong chemical substances will be much reduced. Since there are risks of accidents in the laboratory, you should know the means of rescue available and how they are used. These fire extinguishers are installed for putting out fires. The three types of fire extinguishers are frequently found in schools. The first is the water-type fire extinguisher. It can be used to put out ordinary domestic fires. When using the water-type fire extinguisher, we have to pull out the safety pin first, then press the handle, and aim the jet of water at the bottom of the fire. However, water may cause electric shocks and may induce serious chemical reactions when mixed with certain chemical substances. It can also increase the intensity of the fire if it is used on fires caused by flammable liquids. Therefore, this type of fire extinguisher is only recommended for putting out fires caused by wood, paper, cloth, and plastic. The second type is the carbon dioxide type fire extinguisher, which is filled with liquid carbon dioxide. This type of fire extinguisher can be used to put out fires caused by flammable substances and electric sparks. To use this type of fire extinguisher, pull out the safety pin first, then point the opening of the extinguisher towards the fire and press the handle. The third type is the powder type fire extinguisher, which is filled with a chemical powder. This type of fire extinguisher can be used to put out fires caused by flammable substances, chemicals, and electric sparks. To use this type of fire extinguisher, pull out the safety pin first, then point the opening of the extinguisher towards the fire and press the handle. If the safety pin is broken, or when the fire extinguisher has been expired, arrangements should be made to replace it with a new one. Other than fire extinguishers, the sand bucket with scoop and the fire blanket can also help put out fires in the laboratory. Sand in the sand bucket is most suitable for putting out fires caused by chemicals. However, it can only put out small fires. The fire blanket is most effective in putting out fires on clothes, but you must take precautions to protect yourself when using it. Both put out fires by covering the fire to cut off the oxygen supply. First aid equipment should be available in the laboratory. This includes the first aid cabinet, in which bandages, scissors, antiseptics, cotton wool, etc. are stored. In the case of accidents, students should immediately report to the teacher or the laboratory technician in charge. First aid treatment should be given according to the situation. This is an eye wash bottle. It's easy to use. Just squeeze the bottle and the water inside will spill up from the top. Point the opening of the bottle towards the eye and the water will wash away the harmful substance. Of course, the water inside the bottle should be changed from time to time to ensure its cleanliness. And you should not play with this bottle for fun. If somebody breathes in certain gases and feels uncomfortable afterwards, what will you do?
Very bad smell. I feel dizzy.
You should inform the teacher immediately.
Let me see.
And the other students
Follow
must
me.
stay away from the sick. Then, take the sick student to an open area so that he can inhale some fresh air and receive initial treatment. If you feel uncomfortable when you have breathed in certain gases,
let me inform the teacher.
You should report to the
Miss,
teacher
we smell
immediately
some unknown gas.
and open all the windows in the laboratory. Leave the laboratory according to the teacher's instruction and go to an open area. Prevention is always better than remedy. Besides observing the safety rules in the laboratory and taking safety precautions, you should develop good practices when you are performing experiments. Good practices include: keep the surface and the surroundings of the workbench clean and tidy. Books and apparatus should be kept separate and you should not litter. Follow the teacher's instructions. Do not start your experiments unless you are told to do so. Check your hands carefully to see if there are wounds. Use plasters to cover the wound so that it will not be infected by bacteria or damaged by chemicals. Girls should tie up their long hair to prevent catching fire from burners. Do not go away before the experiment is finished. The gas tap should be turned off before leaving. When lighting the Bunsen burner, remember to keep the head and the body clear away from the burner. If matches are used instead, make sure that the matches are put out and placed on the insulating mat under the burner. Wear goggles when the experiment requires the use of fire. Put on rubber gloves when the experiment involves contact with animal bodies or organs. Do not bite fingers or pencil heads in the laboratory. There are risks of contamination by chemicals or infection by bacteria. Put all the chemicals back into their right places immediately after use. All the labels should be facing outward for easy identification. Be very careful with the covers of bottles when taking out chemicals. Neither the tabletop nor the bottle covers should be polluted. Put the covers back immediately when the chemicals are taken out. Make sure that it's the right cover for the bottle. Wash your hands after every experiment and make sure that the benches are clean. Many of the materials and equipment in the science laboratory may pose potential hazards. Many of the experiments may produce harmful substances. There may be danger at any time, anywhere in the laboratory. Therefore, do not enter the laboratory without your teacher's permission and company. Do bear in mind all the safety rules when performing experiments.